The next presenter is Hugh Bresser, the Managing Director of Arrow Minerals Limited. Hugh is an economic geologist with over 30 years experience, focused on exploration, business development, corporate strategy. He also has extensive international experience, including senior roles with South 32, Bermain Gold, Pan-Continental Mining, Billiton, and BHP. Please join me in welcoming Hugh.
Great, thank you very much. First of all, I'd just like to thank PayDirt for putting forward the Africa Down Under conference and bringing us all together so that we can share our experiences and knowledge of operating in Africa. I'm going to take the opportunity today to talk about our Simandou North Iron Project. It's located in Guinea. It's abutting the giants that occur to the south of us with Rio and Simfa and Winning Corporation. And we'll talk a little bit more about what they have, what we have, and what the opportunity is for Arrow moving forward. So the website, the presentation is on the Arrow website. I'm not going to go through the disclaimer. If you'd like to look at it, please visit our website and enjoy. So what we have with Arrow at the moment, we're located in a zone where the world's largest high-grade undeveloped iron ore project exists. And it's an infrastructural corridor being put in place. So it's a big opportunity for a small company such as Arrow, and this is really what we've got to focus on. The fact that there is a large development going on that's going to change the landscape of Guinea and change the landscape of the iron ore industry. If you think of the Pilbara in the 50s, early 60s, that's the equivalent to what we're seeing in Guinea at the moment and where we're sitting. We're looking at developing our opportunity to align with the infrastructure that's coming to play. So it gives us an enormous opportunity. We've just recently moved from a pipeline that gave us a pathway to 60.5% ownership of the project to now we have a clear pathway to get 100% ownership of our project, which is a major step forward for Arrow, and it's a major step forward for our shareholders. And it presents us with an ability to build on the work that we've done to date and move the project forward. A little bit of a corporate overview. I'm not going to dwell on this significantly. As I say, the presentation is on our website. If you're interested, please visit. And I am here with a booth 89. So please come around, say hello. We can talk in more detail about the project, the company, and who we are. But our four board and management are all experienced explorers and developers. Tommy McKeith is chairman with extensive field experience with goldfields. Myself with majors and juniors and extensive African experience. Fraser Taberner, Fraser's ex-WMC but has been operating with the Mitchell River Group for many years now. And our most recent member of the board, Alvain Voster, who has extensive experience not only in marketing iron ore but port development, rail infrastructure, and taking projects from an early stage through to development. So it's a very strong board with a very big focus on moving this project forward. So, as I mentioned, Guinea is the host to what would be, I consider, the world's largest undeveloped iron ore project of a high grade, and we're talking 65% plus. Guinea has an opportunity now to open up its country. It's got a very clear mining code in place that makes it easy for us to operate. We understand where we stand. The state gets a 15% free carry in the asset. There's a 3% royalty, NSR royalty, and there's a tax rate of 30%. So it's very transparent for us, it's very transparent for our shareholders, and we're able to move forward in a very stable manner. So let's talk briefly about our project. So the map you see on the right is showing you blocks 1, 2, 3 and 4. From the south you have blocks 3 and 4, which is Simfa, Rio Tinto, and Codelco. They've got about 3 billion tonnes of 65% plus iron ore. This is exceptionally high-grade hematite iron ore. Directly above them, in blocks 1 and 2, you have Winning Corporation, and they have about 2 billion tonnes at 65% plus iron ore. These are major deposits. We sit to the north of these. We sit on the same lithological package. We sit on the northern extension of the Simandou range. This presents us with an enormous opportunity. This area has not been explored. So all the work that's been done since Rio discovered Simandou in the late 90s has been focused on blocks 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. They're the ones that have been moving forward. Our area hasn't been explored to any extensive position. So what we've done is we've gone in, we've geologically mapped the area. We're able to get geophysical data over our tenement area. This was flown by Vale in the mid-2015, 2016. We managed to get the raw data. We were able to reprocess that data. And using modern technology, we're now looking at a depth slice there on the left-hand side that's showing you where we're seeing hematite developments or potential hematite developments within the magnetic signatures. So we're looking for the destruction of magnetite, creation of hematite. Particularly based on that, with the geological mapping that we've done and subsequent rock chip sampling that was showing a number of zones that we should be focusing in on, we've focused in on the southern end of our tenement area, which really brings us into 4 main areas. We've got 50 samples from surface grading more than 58% iron. That's 58% iron is what we're seeing coming out of the Pilbara now. We've got 21 samples that are going greater than 62% iron. And within that, there's a handful that are going greater than 65%. So we're very excited about the potential, the geology and the geochemistry that we're seeing within these areas. We've defined 4 main target areas for us to look at. In a combined strike length, that gives you about 10 kilometres of host rocks that have potential to provide us with high-grade iron. Within those areas, we've got rock chips, as I mentioned, that are showing us that the grades are there. We've conducted our first scout drilling. This is 16 holes that focused in on Delabertini and Cowalini. We managed to get 16 in before the wet season hit us, and we've postponed our drilling whilst we go through the wet season. We're compiling the results and the data at the moment. The aim of this program was really to understand where we sit in the stratigraphy. Are we seeing iron ore developments, and are we seeing hypogene developments? So we're seeing that upgrading sequence. And that's the information that we're looking at now. So where do we go from next? And what we're seeing certainly at Delabertini and Calico, there's some significant work that needs to be done to move this project forward and move us towards identifying a zone of high-grade iron ore within our permit areas. When we're planning to start the next round of drilling as soon as the wet season starts. So the rigs are in place, the team's ready, we're just waiting for the wet season to pass. And this is all great. If anyone's had any experience with iron ore, they understand, and bulk commodities, they understand you don't need a deposit without infrastructure. And that's the key to make this work. The infrastructure corridor is being developed now. It's underway. There's a joint venture company that's been formed between Rio, Winning and the Guinean government that is going to put the infrastructure in place. The port is about 60% done. They've started doing tunnels for the rail line. There's bridges going in across rivers. This is a major undertaking. And under the mining conventions that were signed by Winning and Rio, it's guaranteed third-party access. So for us, it's about getting that timing right so that we're able to access this infrastructure to take our product to market. That's really the key to make this work. We get a major deposit, we have access to infrastructure, we're no longer landlocked. And that's a major outcome for us. So as I say, Winning and Rio, they're both going to be looking at putting 60 to 100 million tonnes per annum down the rail line. We'd be happy to get 10 million tonnes. That would work for us. That's a number that makes a big difference to a small company. This is some of the infrastructure that's being put in place, so it's not just words on a page. This is actually happening right now. So on the left, you can see a major camp construction that's being undertaken for a 1,500 person camp. The bridge across the Mamkudu River was recently opened. It was quite a big event for the Guinean government. You can see the road bridge going across, and you can see the pylons in place for the rail line to go across the bridge as well. You can also see, as you drive from Conakry out to Kankan and then down to Kirawani where we are, you can see where they're putting in the infrastructure to host the rail line. It's going to be a 650 kilometre rail line. So they're putting in the pylons for the bridges to cross the Niger River. They're putting in the pylons to address other rivers, and they've started work on, as I say, on the tunnels. So it's all moving ahead quite rapidly, and we're wanting to be part of it. We see this being in place. The target is for the infrastructure to be in place by the end of 2025. And given the stage of our project, that works really well with where we want to be in that timeframe. We want to be in a position by the end of 2025 to be negotiating access to this infrastructure. Now, high-grade iron ore, it's a really important part of where we're going as a future. There's a lot of talk about lithium, there's a lot of talk about graphites, and the talk about electric cars and different types of energy focus. All of those require steel. All of those require iron ore. So it's kind of the sleeper component to the decarbonisation and the greener future. We need to move in this space. We need to have higher grade iron ore. The higher the grade, the less coal that's used, the less carbon that's produced to produce the steel. Simandou is going to be a key component in that future. Part of what we see from Simandou also is the exposure that it gives a company the size of Arrow and the country of Guinea in the global news. It is a key component. It gets access to markets, it gets onto the radio, it gets into the Fin Review. We get leverage from being in Simandou. And as our news builds, we'll see more and more communication around the potential that Arrow is offering and the leverage that Arrow offers its shareholders and how we can assist with things moving forward in Guinea. Part of operating in Africa and with any community is having that community engagement. Our workforce, our employees, other than myself, are 100% Guinean. They are all from Guinea. Our exploration manager, our country manager, our senior geologists, our health and safety officers, our logistics personnel, they are all from Guinea. We employ all of our people from Guinea. With that, we also engage with our local communities. All of our products are sourced from local communities. We offer training to the local communities to give them access to infrastructure or industries that they may not already have had. We run soap making industries to help the local communities produce a product that they can then take to market that doesn't go rotten. It's not a product that comes out of the farms and has a limited market and shelf life. These are products that have a longer lifespan. And it's something that we leave behind as a legacy to assist with these communities if we ever move on. Moving forward, as I mentioned, we're planning to start our drilling program as soon as the dry season's over, or dry season starts. We've got a continuous amount of news flow coming through. Please keep watching that space. You will see more and more coming through on our website, but also in the news, the developments of Simandou, the amount of work that is happening to open up Guinea is incredible. So, in summary, for Arrow and for Guinea, we are committed to West Africa. We are an explorer developer. That's where we are focusing our efforts. We know there's infrastructure coming, and we want to be able to tap into that infrastructure. it's an opportunity that presents itself for a small company like ourselves to get our product to market. We have news flow that's going to continue to come to market. We are going to keep people informed, and you're going to see not just news flow from Arrow, but news flow about the developments of Guinea. This is a major infrastructural component of the future of Guinea, and we want to be part of it. As a professional team of explorers and developers, we're going to continue to grow our company, and we're going to continue to engage with the government of Guinea and our stakeholders to ensure that things are done correctly and managed in a meaningful way to deliver outcomes to the local communities. Again, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Come back and visit me if you've got questions, booth 89. We're here for the next 3 days. Really love to talk to you about the opportunity, talk to you about Guinea and exploration in Africa in general, or anything else you want to talk about. Really happy to have a chat. Thank you.